I've got lines on my face and scars on my soul, stories in my silence that no one knows. I've walked through fire, I've laid down low, but there's a spark in me that still wants to grow. The bottle's gone dry, the anger's gone cold, but the good Lord's whisper still grabs hold. I'm a broken man with a purpose set, 'cause the Lord ain't done with me yet. No, the Lord ain't done with me yet. I ain't just a tale of regret. He's still writing pages in my name. Through the heartache, dust and rain, I may be chipped, I may be cracked, but I'm still here and that's a fact. Every breath is a grace I won't forget. The Lord ain't done with me yet. I've prayed in jails and truck stop stalls, heard forgiveness echo through concrete walls. I've hurt good folks, I made things right, took a long, long road just to see the light. But I wake up now with a different flame. I know full well I ain't the same. There's work to do and I don't forget. The Lord ain't done with me yet. No, the Lord ain't done with me yet. He ain't cashed in all his best. I'm still here for a reason true. Might be small, but it's mine to do. I ain't too old, I ain't too far for the Lord to use who I are. Grace keeps tapping me like a dead. The Lord ain't done with me yet. Best years die, but faith don't care about age or pride. He'll send you out in boots worn thin to speak of light where dark has been. No, the Lord ain't done with me yet. He's still got plans I haven't met. There's mercy left in these old bones, and purpose carved in sticks and stones. When I fall, he helps reset. Yeah, the Lord ain't done with me yet. So if you wonder what's left to give, just remember, as long as you live, the Lord ain't done with you yet.
Rain was falling on 9/19, coffee cold, windshield unclean. Pulled off a neon diner glow, just me, the waitress, and a radio low. Sat down in a corner booth, worn out leather, smell of truth. And there he sat, in flannel and faith, Bible open by his scrambled plate. Said, son, I've been where you've been to. God don't quit just 'cause you do. In that truck stop booth, with my soul half gone, a stranger's words turned the light back on. That was my testimony, in a truck stop booth at dawn. He didn't preach, just talked real plain about a bottle of storm and a prayer through pain. He said some roads don't end in flames, sometimes they just turn back to grace. He held my gaze like a rearview truth, told me broken still good if it points to proof. And there he sat, like a roadside sign, sipping mercy with eggs over time. Said you ain't too lost for heaven's hand, even diesel hearts can make a stand. Right there in that booth with the ketchup gone was the gospel I'd been searching on. That was my testimony, in a truck stop booth at dawn. that came, he was gone like mist. Left a note, your life still has a twist. And underneath in faded pen, even prodigals get home again. So now I drive with purpose clear, testifying fifth gear, 'cause someone out there sitting alone, waiting for hope and styrofoam. And if you're ever down, out of truth, you'll find him waiting in a truck stop booth. I was sitting on the porch with my head hung low, storm clouds rising in that southern glow. The past was loud, the shame ran deep. A man can drown in secrets he keeps. In the sky cracked wide with heaven's sound, and the rain fell soft on this hard old ground. I breathed it in, that holy refrain. Second chances smell like rain. Second chances smell like rain, washing off years of guilt and pain. Like a back road soaked, like a heart set free, like grace falling down on a man like me. A quiet flood, a holy change. Yeah, second chances smell like rain. That old tin roof tapped a rhythm slow, like the Lord saying, son, time to let it go. I ain't proud of all I've done, but I'm proud I turned to the sun. 'Cause mercy don't always come with choirs. Sometimes it rides them thunder fires. And forgiveness don't always explain, but second chances smell like rain. Second chances smell like rain, like damp earth calling out my name. They fall quiet, but they stir the soul, turning broken men into something whole. I ain't perfect, but I ain't the same. Since second chances smell like rain. Some find hope in churchyard pews. Me, I found mine in worn out boots, kneeling in mud, not polished tile, with tear-stained cheeks and a crooked smile. Second chances smell like rain, sweet and real as a window pane. And I thank God for every storm, for every time I was reborn. Now I walk on washed and plain, 'cause second chances, yeah, they smell like rain. If you're lost in your own pain, wait for the clouds. Second chances smell like rain. Stood outside the church doors, smoke in my breath and pride in my pores. Watch the faithful bow and pray, while I lean back, look the other way. I said, if he's real, he knows I'm broke. And I laughed at every Bible quote, but even my doubt got saved. In the silence where my pride gave way, he didn't wait till I believed. He met me right in my disbelief. Grace don't need your perfect faith, it just needs a heart that breaks. Yeah, even my doubt got saved on that dark and desperate day. There were nights I cursed his name, asked why mercy never came. But looking back through tear-stained glass, I see his footprints in my past. He never left though I walked blind, carried me through my own decline. Yeah, even my doubt got saved in the mess I tried to hide away. No hallelujahs, no church bells, just a whisper through my personal hell. You don't have to earn what he gave. Even ashes still get grace. Even my doubt got saved right there in my broken place. Faith ain't always loud and strong. Sometimes it's shaky, barely holding on. But he don't mind a question or two, as long as your heart's still reaching through. So if you're lost in a silent prayer, wondering if anyone's there, he's closer than your breath today, and he'll love the part you hide away. I'm standing here to testify that you don't have to qualify. Even my doubt got saved, and brother, so can yours tonight. Used to keep a bottle in the glove box tight, sip the dark just to dim the night. Thought the burn could drown the pain, but it only ever brought more rain. Friends fell off, the mirror cracked. I chased the ghost and never looked back. Found myself in a stranger state, and whiskey wasn't worth the wait. Whiskey wasn't worth the wait. All it gave was a longer ache. Heavy heart, heavier breath, spinning closer toward regret and death. It never healed, it never saved. No, whiskey wasn't worth the wait. Missed my boy's first fishing cast. Blame the world, but the fault came fast. My old man warned me years ago, that bottle's got a bitter soul. The Lord not quiet, not with shame, just said, son, I still know your name. And I laid that burden at heaven's gate, 'cause whiskey wasn't worth the wait. Whiskey wasn't worth the wait. All the nights of stolen fates had shaped. I traded truth for the devil's cheer, but mercy poured when I dropped the beer. I found peace when I walked away. Whiskey wasn't worth the waiting. Now the glass is gone, the Bible's near. My hands are steady, my soul's clear. I ain't perfect, but I'm awake, and I got a past that the Lord can take. Wasn't worth the wait. Freedom came when I let it break. Now I sip the word and breathe in grace. No hangover can steal this place. Let the record show an angel state. That whiskey wasn't worth the wait. Yeah, I'm walking light by the narrow gate, 'cause whiskey just wasn't worth the wait. Underneath that old Chevelle, covered in grease and the smell of hell, swore at bolts that wouldn't budge, sip cold coffee, held no grudge. Then I reached for that rag like a prayer, wiped my hands and felt him there. God spoke through an oil-stained rag, not a pulpit, not a choir's flag. In the clang of wrenches, the engine's hum, he whispered, son, I'm never gone. No thunder roll or sky-wide brag, just a moment with that dirty rag. Yeah, God spoke through an oil-stained rag. That garage was my cathedral dome, concrete pews and chrome on chrome. I fixed more than cars on those nights, sometimes pride, sometimes my rights. And when I thought I'd lost my grip, he found me with a greasy strip. God spoke through an oil-stained rag, when my spirit sagged like a worn-out jag. Didn't need robes or angel choirs, just socket sets and worn-out tires. Faith showed up like a roadside flag, waving gentle through that tattered rag. Ain't all holiness clean and white, sometimes grace wears black and bites. And I believe he hears our cry, even when our hands ain't dry. God spoke through an oil-stained rag, through busted knuckles and an aching back. Not in verses I could quote or brag, but in a whisper through that rag. So if you think you're too far gone, he's been speaking all along, even through an oil-stained rag.
There's a breeze blowing through the old screen door, creaking swing on these weathered boards. Coffee cup in a calloused hand, watching dust settle on this land. A life of miles, mistakes and dust, some broken vows, some misplaced trust. But tonight I ain't running from a thing. I found redemption on a front porch swing. Redemption on a front porch swing. where silence knows what hymns can't sing. No preacher here, just cicadas and grace, and the feel of heaven in this quiet place. I didn't kneel and raise my hand, just wait and let him take a stand. Yeah, peace can wear the strangest wings, like redemption on a front porch swing. My daddy sat here when times were tight, a little smoke said, son, just do what's right. Now I sit where his shadow lay, trying to make up for yesterday. A Bible rests near an old jar light. Sometimes I read, sometimes I just write, but the Lord don't mind how you come clean. He'll meet you on a front porch swing. Redemption on a front porch swing. Not in gold, not in diamond rings, but in the hush after a storm is past, when regrets fade and peace can last. I ain't got much, but my soul's intact, and I'd never trade this moment back. He gave me more than I could bring, with redemption on a front porch swing. Don't need a steeple suit or stage. Sometimes grace just shows up with age, and the stars blink like an amen sky, while forgiveness rocks me side to side. Redemption on a front porch swing, with the crickets playing, church bells ring. I'm older now and not as proud, but I hear the Lord in the low and loud. And if you ask where I found my king, I'd say on a front porch swing. Yeah, I found Jesus on a front porch swing.
Drove past midnight down that lonesome road, dust on my windshield, heart full of load. I'd burned some bridges, left good behind, thought no porch would still leave the light on for mine. But there it was, warm and steady glow, light grace hanging on a rusted pole. When the porch light was a sign from heaven, told me someone still believed. Though I'd wandered far from mercy, love was waiting on that eve. It didn't blink, didn't ask why, just stood still beneath the sky. Yeah, the porch light was a sign from heaven, saying, son, it's time to come inside. Mama used to leave it on late at night, said it's not for the guests, it's for getting right. And I laughed back then, too proud to see that little Bubba's gospel speaking to me. Years gone by, her chair sits still, but that porch light burns with holy will. When the porch light was a sign from heaven, like a prayer wrapped in a beam, didn't matter what I carried, there was room inside the dream. It flickered once, then held on strong, like heaven humming an old church song. Yeah, the porch light was a sign from heaven, saying grace don't count where you've been wrong. Small, just some wire, glass and wall. Now I know it's God's own spark, guiding fools home through the dark. When the porch light was a sign from heaven, didn't need a single word. It spoke of love without conditions and the promises I'd heard. So if you're lost and roads feel long, look for that bulb still burning strong, 'cause the porch light is a sign from heaven, saying, child, this is where you belong.